Since Fleur du Cap is marketed under the Inspired by Nature slogan, we believe that by keeping our processes as natural as possible and by clarifying our unfiltered wines by settling under gravity as opposed to filtering, we are able to retain many of the terroir-specific flavors present in the grape. By having producers in all of the top wine-producing areas of the Western Cape, the Bergkelder really does have access to some of the finest fruit, and this in turn affords us the opportunity to produce wines that are full, complex and of exceptional quality, as is evident by the vast number of both national and international awards awarded to our wines. The grapes for the white wines are monitored very closely by our producers, viticulturalists and winemakers, harvested selectively in the vineyard and kept separate in the cellar. This is what ultimately results in the production of a full and complex wine abundant in cultivar-specific flavor. These delicate flavors can, however, be lost with exposure to oxygen, so as far as our aromatic white varietals are concerned, every effort is made to work as reductively as possible. This means that we limit oxygen uptake as far as possible by making use of dry ice, which is a compressed form of carbon dioxide, and since it is heavier than oxygen, it forms a protective layer or blanket on top of the juice or wine as it is gently pumped from one tank to another. During fermentation, each tank is tasted daily in order to monitor the fermentation process. Our top Chardonnay, Chenin Blanc, Semillon and Viognier tanks are moved to a combination of new and older barrels after the onset of alcoholic fermentation. They will subsequently remain in barrel for the duration of the fermentation process and the subsequent maturation on the lees. This lees is stirred regularly in a process known as batonnage in order to bring the lees in contact with the wine, which in turn enhances the mouthfeel of the wine. Following optimum maturation, each tank and barrel is tasted in order to finalize the blend, after which the wine will be fined and stabilized for bottling. Following alcoholic fermentation in the presence of the skins in order to ensure that as much color is extracted as possible, the wines are pressed and the best wines are taken to barrel, where they will subsequently undergo a secondary fermentation known as malolactic fermentation. The wine will subsequently be racked, that is, the wine will be removed from the lees or sediment that is formed during the fermentation processes, have sulfur dioxide added to prevent oxidation or spoilage, and returned to the cleaned barrels for further maturation. After optimum maturation, each tank in barrel is tasted, allocated to a blend, and subsequently fined prior to bottling. Wines destined for the Bergkelder selection range will be filtered, while those selected for the unfiltered range will generally remain in the barrel for a little longer before being blended, fined, racked, and bottled. The latest addition to our red lineup is a signature Laszlo blend, which was launched in 2007 as a tribute to Dr. Julius Laszlo, one of the former Cellarmasters of the Bergkelder. This blend will only be produced in exceptional years, and the blend composition will vary from vintage to vintage depending on the quality of the various cultivars in that particular year, as only the very finest barrels are selected.